And then today, for Tuesday, September 17th, we're going to talk about activating peer support groups for advocacy. And I'd like to introduce our moderator, Taylor Selman. Taylor is a harm reduction service coordinator here at Caracol, and he is going to lead the discussion with a few other people. So with that, I'll pass it off to Taylor, and thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam, for the introduction, and thank you all for joining us today. In the attendees section, I see some familiar faces, not only at Caracol, but all throughout Ohio and other folks that I've met outside of our work here in Cincinnati. So nice to see you all here. Like Adam said, I'm a harm reduction coordinator here at Caracol. I've been lucky to serve in that role since about March of last year or May, who's to say? All the time runs together, but in that time, I've also been able to help facilitate the Drug Users Empowerment Group at Caracol. So I've been lucky to have that experience, and I would love to introduce our two panelists today. We have Mozella Lawrence and Lashana. Can't see. Lashana Whitefield. If you can, Whitehead. I'm sorry,
Good
but
afternoon.
we'd love to pass it to you if you want to give a short introduction about you two, and kind of what brought you here.
You want us to give a short introduction?
Yes, please. You're welcome to go first, Lashana, if you feel comfortable.
Okay, I'll go first. Well, I am here today. My name is Lashana Whitehead. I am a mother of two. I have had HIV for 12 years now. And I am just trying to reach our youth. I am trying to reach any and everyone that's willing to listen, to try to stop the spread of all diseases, not just HIV, but all diseases. And so that's what I'm here doing today, advocating.
Hi, I'm Mozella. I'm a single mom of a 14-year-old daughter. HIV has been living with me for 4 years. And I'm also here trying to get more in the community. I'm still fairly new to everything, but I want to start getting into the community more. And like she said, kind of speaking more with the youth, because I think the youth need it a little more than, not per se more than adults, but a lot of youth need education.
Thank you both for sharing that information about you. And I liked how you say that HIV has been living with me for the past, years, instead of, having it the other way around, and kind of flipping the script on that. Just another quick question. If you two could introduce what groups you're representing for some of the folks in the audience who may be unfamiliar.
Well, I am representing Humble Hearts. Thanks to Mozella, she is over Humble Hearts, bless her heart. And I'm also representing Positive Attitudes. They're through Equitas.
I am the founder of Humble Heart, which is a all women support group for women living with HIV, and it started in October 2022. And I also attend Equitas Positive Attitude group as well.
Awesome. Thank you both again. I'll go ahead and start it off with some of the questions that we have here. And for the attendees, again, like Adam said, you're welcome to throw any chats that you have for the panelists in the Q&A, and we'll get to those after the little list of questions that we have prepared today. Cool. And I'll go ahead and kick this off to Lashana, and Mozella, you're welcome to add what information you have after. But the first question that we have today: how have you found meaning in your participations in both the Positive Attitudes group and the Humble Hearts group?
I would say by helping others and becoming a beacon of hope.
Yeah, I have found meaning and just a deeper purpose in life and trying to reach my goal and advocate more. And I also have found friendships in both support groups. So I'm very grateful for them. Hearing their stories and sharing their stories, that is one of the most valuable things a person can do. And trust, the confidentiality is the trust of it all. And I know we're not alone out here. So that's something that has affected me in one of the peer groups as far as the meaning of it, finding the meaning in it.
And has participating in either one of these or both of these groups, does it help like you feel like you guys are reaching any of your goals, or have you made any new goals after starting these groups?
You want to go, Mozilla, or you want me to go?
So it have made me kind of like cope with like mental and emotional wellness.
Well, me, when I first started going through this, I prayed about everything. So God showed me a dream that He wanted me to get out here and advocate, to save our children, most importantly, because they are our future. So, with the first thing I did is I joined the support group, and listening to the other people in the support groups and hearing their stories made my story feel like it's not minimized, but it made me feel like it's not as bad as it is, and I'm not alone. And with the research and all of the different medications that they got now, it has advanced. So it's evolving into something that we're living with daily. Yes, it's something that we have to deal with, but at the same time, it don't have to hurt us. It don't have to destroy us. So I'm thankful for these support groups because of their positive attitudes and their friendship, their loyalty, like their sincerity about what they're going through. And they just looking for help like we are. So that's something that really like and me stepping out like this is on faith, with God just being the lead of my life and just taking me where I'm supposed to go with helping other individuals so that they don't suffer like I did when I first got it. Because it's traumatic. It's very traumatic. So I just want, you know, it helped me stop with male bashing. It helped me stop with thinking every male was DL. It helped me stop with thinking a lot of things joining these two groups. So I'm very grateful for what it has done for me to reach a goal in my life so far, and I stepped out and did these panels, and had women and girls days, talked about things. I was a guest speaker, just trying to reach my goal as trying to reach one person out of each time I'm doing something. That's a goal.
Thank you for that. And I like how you spoke to not only the support that you get within these groups, but also the fact that sometimes these groups are a way to like share information within community too, as well as like, mental support and everything. Mozelle, I know you mentioned a little bit about coping mentally, or the support groups helping you cope a little bit mentally. Can I ask what that looks like, or can you give an example of a time that the group has really helped you throughout a period of time in your life?
So when I started going, it's been well over probably almost 2 years now when they started. There was always just me and one other person. So I didn't know how to feel, like, okay, it's just us two. So should I come back or not come back? Like I didn't know what to think. So I never been to a group. I didn't really understand HIV. So I was kind of terrified. So as I kept going and going, it got, it grew bigger, and just understanding it more, it kind of helped me more. Because I did have a point in life where I found out depressed and had a kid. I have a child. So I was like, I can't keep letting her see me like this. So I seek help, that was traumatizing, to trying to seek help and telling somebody what's going on. And I think what was mostly the social emotional part was not knowing that I had it. And when I found out, I didn't know how long I had it. So I think that's what's helping me more now that I'm into the groups and stuff, and just hearing everybody's story. And it helps me with mine.
Yeah, I agree. I agree totally. Another thing that helped me cope with it was getting my spirit, going to church, placing myself in a spiritual setting. I counsel with my pastor, um, and I counsel with other counselors. And I had a couple of psychiatrists in the beginning. Like I really had like a breakdown with this when I first found out, because I got sick, and on top of it, my dad got sick, and I was his caregiver. And in a situation like that, his stuff took precedence over mine. My dad got cancer. He died 3 weeks later on his birthday. So I had to be that person to bury my dad and still go to my doctor's appointments afterwards. And that was like a hard hit. Them was two hard hits at the same time, and I'm still standing. So coping with this is with my pastor has really, really tremendously helped me spiritually. Um, I think if I wouldn't have did it spiritually, I probably wouldn't be able to get out here and advocate the way I'm doing. Because you got to step out on faith. You got to come out that box. You can't keep isolating yourself and separating yourself. Only time I separate myself is when I need to pray. And that way I need to get guidance from the Lord. I mean, you all can give me guidance, but God is the one that's showing me the mission and the purpose I'm on. So that's where it's with me now. That's where I'm headed.
Thank you both for sharing that. That was really powerful to hear. Then I guess I was wondering too, have there been any, like, what tangible outcomes have you seen since joining your group? Has the group led any projects, or have they kind of, I guess tangible outcomes can mean many things, whether that's something like big and official, or if it's just kind of like smaller and like unofficial, if that makes sense.
Well, I'll go first with that. Well, I've seen friendships manifest, just by sharing their stories, just by us bonding over the few months that I've been in the second one, but the 2 years I've been in the first one. Um, it is like exciting to be around new people. And they have an energy that they bring with them, and the energy is always positive. And we laugh and we joke and we have a good time because we are human. We just dealing with a virus, that attacked us in a way that we could have controlled it to some degree, but at that time we didn't control it. It happened, and so now we have to deal with it. And so the impact on me is that when we go to the retreats, we get a little pampered here and there, but we get information. The information is what's valuable to me. It's priceless, because now we get to take that information that we're gaining and take it back to the community, on top of sharing it with the support groups that we're in, so that they can see that we're evolving the way we are. We're getting, is our groups are getting bigger. We have more people that is empowered by what needs to be done out here versus staying in your trapped in your feelings. So that's kind of what tangible outcomes I've seen since joining both groups. Just manifesting friendships is what I've seen a lot of, and I'm thankful for it. Networking, doing all kind of being connected in ways that we didn't know at first.
I would say the participant safety, because it's always a safety thing, a confidentiality thing, and positive relationships. So like if I miss a group, when I get there the next time, they might say, "Oh, we missed you. Where were you?" So that makes you
Yeah,
feel good and makes you feel welcome to be there.
yeah, I agree. Safe space.
And I can even share a quick story from the Drug Users Empowerment Group, that one of our members was in the hospital for a pretty serious health complication at the time, and a lot of folks in the group were, they were like, I just want to do something, and it was as little as it, but it felt bigger than that. But we just found a card and had every member of the group, sign a card, give a short message, and we gave it to a family member, and they dropped it off to our participant, and that participant just told me, like, even though it seemed like such a small gesture, like it really got them through like a tough time. And sometimes it's just like a matter of like seeing that there's a group of people there that you can rely on and that support you and kind of know similar things to what you're going through. I think that can mean a lot.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is.
I think one of you
Um,
mentioned the retreat, and there might be some folks on the call that are a little unfamiliar. I was wondering if one of you two could speak about it for a little bit.
well, Mozella, you could probably tell them a little bit more about it, because you always include us. So,
So
uh,
I am in contact with Women We Think for a Change. They're based in Cleveland. So I do go on their retreats every year. Typically they're in August, and typically at the end of the year. So when I know about it, I try to, give the information to my ladies at my group so they can attend as well. And we also sometimes attend the Equitas groups retreats that they have. So we do attend those as well. So when I get information for that, I try to give it to as many women as I can to, get as many as I can to go.
Really passing it down the whole network that you guys have created. It's awesome.
Yes.
So got another question for you all, if that's okay. Um,
Mhm.
how do you think your participation in these groups has impacted the larger community that you're around?
I would say I have been able to tell others about the groups. Or they come to me like, do you know of any other groups? So I do get on a lot of Zoom call groups as well, like out of state, nationwide. So I try to tell, give everybody else the information to try to join as well. Um, it's just mostly trying to get others to participate.
I think I have impacted the community by out here teaching. I've joined 4 ministries at my church. I'm on the youth ministry, the women's ministry, the decorating committee, and I'm on the prison ministry now. And so I'm trying to reach other people besides um, the people that's out here. I want to also reach people that's behind bars and reach other people that's going through just dealing with anything that they have to deal with. Um, Another thing is, as a leader and trying to be a person that shows by example, because I have 2 girls and I have to lead by example. I don't want my girls to catch this. I need them to understand this is out here. Protect yourself. I also have nieces and nephews that I reach out to. I reach out to the youth at my church. I reach out to any and everyone that's willing to listen. I do promote abstinence, but I know that's real. I know reality. So I do also promote condoms. I do promote that because you need to protect yourself. Unwanted babies, unwanted pregnancies, and diseases. So that's something that I have stepped out in the community to do for myself, as well as be in the 2 support groups that I'm in. So I'm trying to do a lot out here besides just reach one particular audience. I need an overall view of all audience members. I need the world to see what's going on and how we can stop it. I know the stigma will never end because unfortunately we have a lot of people that's faster than wisdom that can catch them. So I'm trying not to be too smart, you know what I'm saying? Smart butted. But yeah, it's a lot of people out here that's very ignorant. And so you have to learn how to get past and navigate the ignorance for you to stay focused on your mission and your purpose. And that's how I think I'm impacting the community.
I think those were very well put. Thank you for sharing that. I have a couple Q&As from the audience, so I'll go ahead and bring out here. One of the participants has a question for you, Mozilla, in particular. She says, it was powerful to hear you say HIV has been with me rather than I am HIV positive. Can you share what's behind your words?
Because I'm not living with HIV. It's in me, so it's living with me. So it invaded my space. I didn't invade it.
Creating at your space. I like how you put the spin on that. Then I got one more question from the Q&A, and this can go for both of you. What unique strategies should we take to reach youth specifically through peer support? Are there differences between, per se, positive attitudes and other avenues?
I'll go first. To reach our youth, first, I think counseling can be in play, but it's all about communication and listening skills when it comes to our youth. Some people don't feel like our youth have a voice, and they are humans just like us, and their voice matters. So sometimes just listening to them and being in a safe environment and knowing that, like she said, confidentiality is trust. You have to, let them open up in their own time, in their own way. You can't force it on them. You know, you can maybe ease it into a conversation by starting it with another conversation. It's different methods of talking to children. It's just all about meeting them on their level. And to me, dealing with the child, and I go for the children that don't nobody want to go for. I go for the children that people say, "Oh, that child is bad. They don't have a they're not going to be anything. You need to just walk away from that one." That's the one I'm going for because that's the one that needs the help the most. That's the one that's crying out. So you got to reach them the level that they're on, not go down to their level, but reach them at the level that they're on. So, you know, just how to navigate and, you know, work your words properly, and God will assist you with that because that's his child and that child needs an outlet. So it's all about finessing and working and getting on their level to me.
I would say maybe like put it in the schools. So I
Yes.
don't remember HIV and being taught when I was in school. I just remember like the minor STDs, and that was kind of like it. You just don't know. So maybe if it was in school taught more, it might help more. And I also tried before to like reach somebody at Children's Hospital because I do know they have infectious disease clinic as well to try to like maybe be that person that can come speak to the youth, because my group is for adult women, so they need somebody for the teens or not even just the teens, just even the younger crowds, so it's just trying to get out there and speak to them and try to encourage them to, just get tested or seek help or speak to somebody.
And I think a lot of us on the prevention team will kind of encounter similar problems where it's just a matter of like education and bringing those educations to groups of folks who, may have traditionally not been able to get that, and, they didn't teach me anything about HIV and AIDS when I was in school, and I had to seek a lot of that information. And I definitely agree with you both that I think that should be kind of brought into like a more standardized curriculum rather than, us having to go out there to, bring your own stories to have people learn from that. I think it should just be a standard practice.
Mm-hmm.
And Mozella, I had a quick question for you. I know you spoke, and LaShawn, you're welcome to jump in as well if you have the same experience, but I know you spoke a little bit about doing both Zoom and in-person support groups. I was wondering if you see like if there's a difference in the two for you, or do you feel like you get kind of the same thing from a virtual space and an in-person space, if that makes sense?
I kind of get like the same thing. Some might be more detailed than others. So it just really depends. And then sometimes, it's not always a conversation about HIV. So try not to always make that the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Mine is more, I like to be in person because I'm a silly person, and depending on what we're doing that day, I like to interact with people. I like to engage with people. And so that's where I'm at with it. I'm more of engaged with a hands-on versus I can do it on Zoom. Don't get me wrong, because when COVID was here, I did a lot of things on Zoom. So Zoom, it was just as good and just as informative, but it's not the same with being in person because sometimes you make like silly comments that, like on Zoom we do it too, but we try to be more professional on Zoom than we are in person. So we got some, silly people, and we got some nice people out here, and engaging with them is priceless. It's like you just met a new friend. You just added somebody else to your life, and they got a good vibe. So you don't have to say, "Hey, it's a friend," but you can say it's a good associate.
Yeah. And I liked how you also mentioned too that like talking about things in the support group other than HIV, because that's not the only thing going on in your life. Like you both have a family and other things going on in your day to day that I'm sure that people need support on too. So I think that's good to kind of remember as well. Like, I got another question for you both. How has your participation in the peer support groups that you're part of shifted your perception on HIV?
I would
Mm.
say reduce the stigma is a big thing. Improving my self-esteem. Um, normalizing being with others, that have the same illness and just breaking down the fear.
Well, me being in the groups, the one in positive attitude showed me, because it's a co-ed group, it showed me that men are just as affected as that women are. It showed me the different personalities that bring out the laughter in our group. And, again, just having a sense of humor. I tend to make jokes at the group, and they make jokes too. So it's just having fun and being genuine with each other, and accepting each other for who they are and not what we're dealing with. We're living with a virus. That's it. People catch colds every day. So just got to let it run its course and take your medicine, do what you're supposed to do. Stay positive.
Thank you both. Yeah, a couple questions from the audience. I think this is a huge thing that we encounter at the empowerment group and some of the other support groups that I'm in my private life. What advice would you give to someone who is contemplating attending a support group but is a little bit apprehensive?
You want me? I'll go first. Come with an open mind and an open heart. And just know that you are in a safe space. You don't have to tell your story. You don't have to talk. You can just listen. And you can engage just by doing that. Just your presence is valuable to us. We accept everybody, and you might bring something to the table that we don't have, that we don't know. Everybody has their own perception and knowledge, and they might need it. They might have something that I need. So, and I might have something that they need. And you just, just allow each other to be comfortable with each other, just give yourself time and open up when you're ready. And that's how I did it.
I would say just kind of maybe talk to them and just try to see what makes them may want to attend a group or what make them may not want to attend a group. Just kind of see what their balances are. And you might be able to talk them into like maybe coming, or just certain words, can affect somebody. So just maybe reaching out just to say, hey, why do you want to come, or what makes you not want to come?
Yeah, there's always going to be talkers and listeners at support groups, and I think, both are very important. And I know there's some participants of our empowerment group that, have attended for maybe like 3 or 4 months, and then it takes them a couple months before they say something, but it's not that they haven't gotten anything out of the group the entire time.
Mhm.
It's a process.
Yeah.
Another cute. Did you have something to say, Lashana?
No, I was just thinking, when people are ready to open up, um, they just need a listening ear. They just need somebody to actually hear them. And don't give out, you don't have to give advice, you don't have to give suggestions or anything. Just kind of listen and let them, you know, tell their story. And once they open up their hearts and open up their minds, you never know what is in store for them, what they got, what can come out of this. Because me doing this right here, it's like a leap of faith. And I know it is for Mozilla too. It's like a leap of faith that you're doing, because you want to reach somebody in a bigger audience. You want somebody else to understand that it's going to be okay. Life is hard no matter what, but it's how you take it in stride. It's how you deal with things. It's all about your attitude towards it. Your reaction can be something else. Versus, it can be positive versus negative. You can say, you know what, I'm dealing with this, and I'm gonna keep dealing with it. But as far as I'm concerned, it's not gonna dictate my life. It's gonna make. I'm just gonna have to keep going and being strong about it, and look forward to everything and hold my head up and be confident in what I do. So that's what I tell other people. It's okay. Be confident. Own what you are. Own who you are. You are this, and HIV is not you. You just caught. You just. I don't want to say it, but you just caught a virus. That's it. And you just have to deal with it. It's a lifelong virus, but if you deal with it and strive and take it in a way that is positive, you just don't know what you can do and come out of it. You might help the next person. There's children out here that's born with HIV every day. They have to live with it. I caught it. They was born with it. It's a difference. So, you have to be more open and just compassionate to other people, empathetic to what they're going through versus just always about me, always about self-centeredness. Let it be known that I'm not selfish, I'm selfless. And we could turn any trial into a triumph. It's all about how you want to work it, how you want to deal with it. It takes time though. It doesn't do it overnight. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go there. It just kind of came out.
I have no reason to apologize. That was great. That was great to hear. And I think well, with taking things in stride, I think the question that someone from the audience is going to kind of get at that because it is a lot to kind of navigate these things every day. But they wanted to ask, it takes a lot of energy to advocate and make the world better, more knowledgeable place for, or sorry, let me restart that. It takes a lot of energy to advocate and make the world a better and more knowledgeable place when it comes to HIV education and stigma reduction. Do either of you have a self-care regimen? How do you balance advocacy and helping others and your own needs at the same time?
You can go first, Mom.
I would say being encouraged to go to these groups. And I listen to a lot of music. I like a lot of gospel music. So that kind of helps me a little bit, just sometimes even just being in a quiet room, just with nothing, it helps me. So I'm not a big talker and stuff. So I am kind of like now in the process of writing the book. So telling my story. So that's one thing that I'm trying to work on to get done by the end of the year. So it's been going on since last year. So, I have a lot of people that's pushing me because they know like I'm a quiet person, but they like, you can do it. I would never thought I would even be in a space to even speak because I'm not a talkative person.
Well, with me, it was God, it was the creator of all life that just showed me things in myself because I almost died once before in '07. I had a hysterectomy. So I've seen things spiritually that a lot of people don't see. And so what I do is I pray. I pray hard. Um, and I wait for the answer because sometimes you have to be still in order to know where to go or in order to know what to do. I don't always, I don't know always where I'm going to be headed to because I ask God to take me by the hand and lead me. So wherever I go, I'm equipped and what I need. And so I pray heavily and I let the spirit, the Holy Spirit lead me to a lot of things. Even with my advocating, it's like I got two girls, I got nieces and nephews, I got 6 sisters. And so I want my siblings to understand the information. So I get educated. Knowledge is power. God said gain knowledge. So knowledge is power. Information is everything that we need to do so that we can keep a balance in this life with knowing everything that's out here. It's more than just HIV. It's more than just herpes. It's more than just Hep C. It's more than just chlamydia. So you have to know and educate yourself to gain knowledge for you so you can get out here and help the next man.
And just to kind of quickly jump back to one of the points you made, Mozilla. First of all, I'm looking forward to reading your book when you do get finished to it with it. But I think there's like a lot of space, or sometimes as like somebody who's quieter as well, it can be a little bit difficult to figure out like how to speak up. But like in one of the groups that I've been a part of, they will like have like post-it notes that if people didn't feel like they could speak up for like in the middle of the group, that they could write it on a post-it note and we can bring it up next group. But that's been pretty impactful for us. But I also kind of journaled. It's kind of similar to you. I'm like, I don't want to say that out loud, but like I need to get this out.
Mhm.
It helps. Got another question for you both. Um, what is something that you would like to see your peer group advocate for in the future?
More team support. Um, just kind of like helping the teens become happy and healthy adults.
I would like to see our men advocating more. I would like both to see both of my support groups networking, just to stop the spread of anything, drug use. I'm in prevention. So that's what my thing is prevention. I joined the prevention ministry of my church, but things happen in life. So I couldn't stay on it, but I'm still active in it. I still volunteer faithfully. We just had a youth health and wellness day at Greater New Hope Missionary Baptist Church. That's where I go. And we do a lot for our youth there. So I kind of like always try to do something with advocating that way too. Just doing all kind of things. They call me a busybody because I do so much. Step out. It took me a long time too, Mozella, to talk, but I had a sister to sister group years ago, and they started advocating when I first got this. It's been 12 years now. And they were advocating, they were going to Washington, they were going to Cleveland, they were going to all these different places, Columbus, trying to get the laws together. And I seen that, and it was something that I admired, but I never wanted to do it. And for 12 years, it took me 12 years to step out on faith and open up like I'm doing now. So when Mozella started opening up, I was excited. I'm excited right now because she is over my group. I didn't start a support group, but I am a support person. I do peer support. And I love Mozella for this group because I was one of the first ones there with her. And it was just about 2 or 3 of us at first. Now we're kind of getting bigger, we're expanding. And I know she's going to do great things for Humble Hearts. And I'm so grateful to be a part of that group. I'm so grateful that she even started this group because I needed it just as much as she did. So I'm very grateful for what you're doing for us. Mozella, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I have a couple questions from the audience too about a little bit kind of getting at some of the women's group versus the co-eds groups. So that's the question. Someone in the audience wanted to know if you attended a women's only group first, or like how long did it take you to kind of step into the co-ed space?
It took me 12 years to step into the co-ed space. I just joined that some months ago. I've been with women's groups for years now, off and on. And I had another support group through Caraco. They had one at one point in time. It didn't last real long, but it lasted for a minute to where I went. And I wasn't comfortable at first. But now it's like, shoot, these people just like I am. They have fun, they silly, they just a life to be around. It's not a party yet, but it's a party when we get together. So I'm thankful for both groups. Both groups hold something different. The women's group, I'm around my sisters that is going through exactly what I'm going through. But with the men, I'm around both men and women that's going through what I'm going through. And it's just a beautiful thing how we then manifest the friendship. So that's what I'm going with that.
I would say mine started with Zoom groups where it was, I remember 2 women and like a few males. And then as I started going to other ones, they all were co-ed. So when I started going to positive attitudes, I had a feeling like, I don't know if I want to be around me, and because I didn't know what to expect, because I didn't know anything. So once I got there, it was like, it was me and just another male. So it was like, okay, it's not so bad. We're all here for the same thing. Why not? And I do know a few of my ladies like, oh, I don't want to go because it's with me. And I'm like, well, we all going through the same thing. So it doesn't bother me.
Someone from the audience wanted to ask, what are the topics the group discusses that you have found most impactful or useful?
I won't say I have anything in particular. I enjoy all of it. I'm still learning and trying to like teach my daughter because she's 14. So I'm still a learner. So all of it is helpful to me.
Well, all of it's helpful to me too, but the one thing I like out of the other group, that's the art therapy group, is because it's an outlet. I love arts and crafts. And it's an outlet when we do the art therapy. Sometimes it just let you ease your mind, take you to a calm place, a calm setting, and you just get to like be creative with what you know. So the art therapy kind of helps with me.
Yeah, I think like arts and crafts can kind of be like not thought of as often, but are very therapeutic. You know, for one of the empowerment group meetings, you know, we were having our general support group, but some of the participants were also just like decorating bandanas, and it was really fun to see what everyone had made by the end of it too. I have a question from the audience for you in particular, Lashana. Someone asked, or someone says, "Hi, Lashana. Women and
Um,
women in the prison population, how open are the women to you being there to educate them? By the way, you both are awesome for sharing."
Thank you. Right now, I just joined the prison ministry, so God be the glory. I get to start in October. This is going to be my first time. And I don't know if I'm going to be visiting men or women, but some of the people that I already know that's in prison, um, they tend to just look at the fact that at least I'm out here doing something positive, and it really touches some people because they like, you took a step out. That's something I wouldn't do. So I'm like, well, I was scared to do it, but it got to be done because somebody needs to know this information. We have a lot of ignorant people out here. We have a lot of arrogant people out here, and we have a lot of egomaniacs. And we have to watch out for those people that judge you, um, because it can break your spirit. It can damage you. It can take you into a depression. So that's where I come in and say, hey, don't let that do that to you. You walk with your head held high. Be confident. You know who you are. You know what you're dealing with. I didn't say I was living with it. I say I'm dealing with it because, like she said, it attacked my space. I didn't attack it. So I'm dealing with something that attacked my space. And we're going to you just got to get through it the best way you know how. By praying, stay prayed up. Learn, if you don't know nothing else, learn that you get breath from somewhere else and there's blood running through your veins. And that it's got to be a creator out here, something that's higher than us. And just walk and talk with it. And it will lead you. Trust me, the Holy Spirit will lead you every way you need to go in a positive direction. And it will help you walk with your head held high and don't care what other people think, because you can't care what they think. All you can care about is what you think and what you feel about you, because they perception of you might not be what you want it to be. So I have to love me for me and love me to do enough to get out here and say, I can't worry about what you think, but I am going to give you this information to pass on to somebody else. Whether you like it or not, it's still here. I have to deal with it.
You have your job to do that day, and I kind of go through something similar because we do jail educations here, and it's like I'm here taking up my space. This is my time, and I'm gonna give you this information. You can take or leave the information with what you want.
Right. Because it's reality out here. We can't force information on people, and we can't force them to want to open up. So when I'm dealing with people that's in prison that I've already been dealing with, their attitude is changed toward me because I'm coming at them from a positive perspective, and I'm not giving them advice. I'm throwing out suggestions only. You could, with a suggestion, you can take it or leave it. Advice is like, I have to be living this way in order for me to give you this advice. And everything don't work for you to work for me, and everything that work for me don't work for you. So we have to do it our own way, but we have to learn to find out who we are first, and really be in love with who you are in order for you to gain this kind of mentality. You got to be strong enough to say, Lord, I'm weak. You my strength. Help me. And he will do that. And that's how I work. And that's how they accept me in the prison system before I even started, with the ministry. So that's where we are. It's reality that I'm going for, not an illusion, like we talking, living and breathing people out here. Something is higher than us. So it's got to be spiritually. That's I'm going to somebody in the prison system. I'm not taking the negative. They already have that in the world. Well, look where they're at. So when you take something else in there, I'm taking scriptures from the Bible. I'm taking Psalms. I'm taking singing. I'm taking a good heart and showing people that it's something bigger than us out here. And right now, you just going through a trial, and you're gonna triumph over this trial, and you're gonna testify to what happened, and you're gonna help somebody else.
Yeah, I think coming at things with a positive light is like very impactful, and I think that makes a difference whether you're going into jails to do educations or if you're going to like a positive attitude support group, being a good energy
Right.
there. So we're about 12 minutes left of the session. I do have a couple more questions to get through. If that's okay. Um, so I wanted to see what suggestions do you have for organizations looking to start peer support or advocacy groups? What is the best way to engage people in such groups?
I would say identify your goals and needs, define roles, and expectations for your group. Then like allow the members to kind of like choose topics to talk about. That has helped our group, allowing the members the participants to kind of speak up, say, oh, can we talk about this? Or can we do this? So that kind of helps, to kind of plan like, oh, next group, we're going to do this, or we're going to talk about this. So it helps.
Mm-hmm. It does. I agree with Mozella. And another thing that when we talking about the group, we have to remember that everybody want to open up on their own time. Everyone's going to open up when they're ready. And so just them listening in can be a way for them to open up and when they're ready. Just listening to somebody else share their story. We have a lot of people be like, well, that's similar to what I'm going through. And that's how you engage. Communication is key, and listening.
I'm just filtering through. Someone from the audience wanted to know, how do you negotiate new relationships? Telling partner, telling your family, and do you have any advice or suggestions to others in the same situation?
Ooh,
Better.
I'm gonna be short with this one. I was exposed. The guy gave it to, no, the guy gave it to me. He gave it to me. Um, and my sister exposed me to everyone. So I didn't have a chance to expose myself or tell someone because somebody did it for me. And so I was shut down in a shell at first. I was in a shell. But me being who I am, I'm a fighter, I'm a warrior. I said, this ain't gonna conquer me. So now, since she did that, I just used it as an ability to get out here and advocate. And it's a win-win for me now, whereas it was a win-lose at first, because I was losing family members, I was losing friends, but God showed me that those are the people that he was removing so that he can bring the new people in that was meant. So that's where I'm at with that now. And people who expose you, they don't have a conscience about what they're doing. They're just ignorant and do it anyway. So I had to take the bitter with the sweet, and I had to put on my big girl panties, and I had to deal with what I'm living with. This invaded my space. I'm trying not to say it, Mozella. I want to say it. I want to say it so bad, but I'm not gonna say it. Because we got to deal with what we're dealing with, and just know that I didn't catch this virus. My friend did below. So you all have a good day with that one.
I would say I only have like a handful of family members that know. It was tough in the beginning. So I think what got me the most was when I let that person know. He ran to my brother and said, "Your sister said I gave her this," you know. And my brother confused because he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Nobody knew. So I didn't disclose that with my family yet. So that was kind of like hard for me. And you know, I kind of was like, he really did this. Like, and of course my thought process was like, I want to kill this man. And that's not me, that's not
Boy,
my character. But that's just how I felt. And so my brother blowing my phone up. I'm like, I'll call you when I get home. So I had to call and tell him. So what I wanted to do was like get my siblings and my mom together and let them know together. But it didn't go that way. So I think that's what hurted me the most. But I did let my daughter know last year because she kept saying, "Well, why are you going to the doctor so much?" Or she's 14, she still don't understand it. But I let her know, like, well, this is why I'm going to the doctor. You know, I explained it to her the best I could, but she's like, "You'll be okay." You know, that made me feel, I'm sorry to cry, but she made me feel a lot better because I didn't think I was going to be okay. And I'm just glad now, like, I guess, like I say, it's bittersweet, but um, they say what they say is a curse and a you know whatever at the same
a
time, but
blessing,
it's a
a
good
curse
thing.
and a blessing. Yep,
Now that
I agree.
I'm in it, I done met great people, and networking is getting there. It's I'm like I'm just making things possible.
Thank you both for speaking on that topic, and it can be a bit of a heavy question. So I appreciate you both being vulnerable. Someone in the chat was wondering, I guess it's kind of you may have spoke a little bit to this, but someone said, what would you say to a person that feels that HIV was the best thing that happened to them?
They crazy. They got problems because it is not the best thing that happened to me. I got sick. I was down. I couldn't work for 3 years. I mean, I was bad, and it hit me hard. And the guy who gave it to me knew he had it. He didn't even expose it. He didn't even give me the option to say if I wanted to mess with him or not. You know, we had messed around for a long time, off and on 4.5 years. But this guy was just, I didn't know he had it the whole time. So, you know, being with somebody who was deceptive like that and he was on a DL, he was on drugs. I didn't know he was on drugs. He was shooting up between his fingers and toes. And I didn't know none of this because I worked, I went to school, I took care of my kids. He said I wasn't spending enough time with him. And so I couldn't give him the time that he wanted because I was doing too much for what I needed. But at the same time, I wasn't out there cheating. He was. And so when you got somebody who's DL like that, I didn't know he was sleeping with men and women. I just thought he was sleeping with women. It was different. It was different because I thought that every male was, DL then. And so I had to get it together. I had to get myself together. I wanted to kill him too, Mozella. I actually went to go look for him to kill him, but I ended up in the psych ward because I had a panic attack. They ended up letting me out the next day because they said that my reaction was valid. It was something that they would have did the same thing to. But at the same time, I had to get a grip on life. I had children. I couldn't work. You have to be able to be strong enough to know it's something that God took care of me for 3 years. I don't know how my bills got paid. I just know they got paid. I don't know how things happened because it just happened. Because that's where my faith came in at. I had to stand strong in my faith. And he took me places and brought me to different places that I would have never went on my own without having this. But they crazy if they want this. It's not something to want. This I don't want to deal with. Who wants a HIV? Who wants that? Nobody. You might as well just say I want herpes. I want all diseases. No, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. They can have mine, and I'll take their life back. How that sound? I mean, I ain't mean to go there, but that's crazy. Should nobody want this disease? It's an illness that attacks you. It's a virus and attack your immune system, and it shut your immune system down, and you become vulnerable to all kind of um, diseases. Then you open up to everything now, and you can't even fight it off when your immune system is below 200. Your T4 cells that attack the T4 cells. The immune system, the captain of the lymphatic system, is what I call it. And I don't mean to be long-winded. I'm so sorry, but the virus is not something that you want. This is not something that anybody should want or even want to get. It's something that you should prevent yourself, just like with chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, herpes, because those are incurable too. They just come back when you get a fever,
I don't
a
think
high fever.
I don't think you have
So
to
I'm
apologize for anything. That's just how that's your opinion and that's how you feel about anything. So I don't think there's any apologies that need to be warranted from that. Make that clear.
And I would say, had I not caught it, I wouldn't have met some of the great people I met. And I wouldn't be in the spaces I'm in today.
no,
Um, being with this virus or whatever you want to call it, it made me a stronger person, really. I'm a strong person, but dealing with that and a single parent and it's a lot. But I'm strong and I'm here for it. So I'm just like, okay, this is my chance to get myself in this community a little more. So this is just like baby steps for me. So it's preparing me for what's to come.
yeah, but do you think she want it?
Someone in the chats kind of is what echoing what you said, Mizelle. They said I'm stronger because of it, because of the things I've been
Yeah.
through. I also wanted to just because we're a couple minutes away from 1 o'clock, and if we go over, just for folks on the call, I think we can go up until 1:15. But I wanted to see if there's any topics or anything that you both wanted to bring up that I hadn't asked you about, or if there's any other people that you wanted to know about the support groups, or anything that's really helped you, navigate the past 14 years, 12 years, 10 years, 5 years, what have you not.
Well, I'll go first real quick because Moselle is over the support group that I'm in. And I'm excited to join it. I was excited to join this group because I needed somebody else that was going through it like I was. And not just to know their stories, but to know them as a person has, like she said, she has gained some really good people in her life. And there's some strong people out here that we didn't even know existed until we went to these groups. So I'm thankful for just meeting the new people that's in my life and what they bring, and their perceptions of HIV is, some of them silly, some of them take things and they say I'll have to laugh at it because if I don't, I'll cry and be depressed. So I'm thankful for a lot of the things that's going on in these support groups with these people that's in it. They bring a lot of joy to the table.
I would say, just recognizing individual strength, because this can be hard to deal with. Um, you know, you got strong people and you got some weak people. So, just kind of like putting them together, it makes you stronger. Um, I always have not been a strong person. I'm a warrior, so I'm always doing for others, but nobody's doing nothing for me. But since then, I have had people in my corner, and it's helping.
Thank you both for sharing. And I don't know if you all have had a chance to go through the chat, but it's just kind of an overwhelming amount of people saying thank you and sharing their appreciation for you both being vulnerable and other folks crying. So you're not the only one either.
Thank you for just being on here with us and allowing us to share our stories. I mean, it's a lot, when you have to deal with different emotions every day, because every day everybody has their weak points. Some days it's good days, some days it's bad days. I have mine. Um, I be attacked a lot because I have HIV. I've been attacked a lot through the person who's And she's been attacking me the whole time, my sister, my own sister. But that's okay because I told her, I said, you know, what's in your blood? You need to make sure your blood is clean while you're sitting up judging mine. You know, you can't hold your head down for anyone. You have to allow yourself to have some sympathy for yourself, have empathy on yourself, have compassion for you, because everybody is not going to have that compassion for you. And learn just to, if you can't do anything else, you're going to be brave through it. My friend told me, he said, be that lion you are in the jungle that's out here fierce, the one that you are. And that's what I've been doing ever since he said that. I am fierce and I am a lion, and I'm going to do this because God only signifies with two animals in the Bible: an eagle that soar higher than all, and a lion because he's the king of the jungle. And so I'm both. I'm out here flying high as a queen of the jungle, and I'm gonna keep doing it. And sometimes you're gonna have weak days, but it's okay because we are strong. God is my strength when I'm weak. He is my strength. And that's what keeps me going. You
And I
have to find your own way. Have
and
to
I can
find
tell
your
that
own
you have
spirituality.
this conversation with you. Thank you all thank you both for the panelists for participating in the chat, and thank you again for the attendees for hanging on for the hour. I'm gonna pass this back off to Adam. I think he has a few last minute things to close up the session.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for this great conversation. You can tell in the comments that people got a lot out of it. And thank you for being so open and honest in this forum. So not everybody is brave enough to do that. And both of you were, and we really, really appreciate it.